The 8th edition of the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue on Northeast Asian Security took place on June 15th and 16th, 2023 at the Consensus Hall in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia. The conference brought together regional experts, policymakers, and academics to discuss pressing security challenges, multilateral cooperation, peace building, and economic collaboration in the region.
The opening session, chaired by Mantha Batsuron, Director General of the Department of Multilateral Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, featured key speeches by Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia Patsuk, Director of the Institute for Strategic Studies of Mongolia Dialogue, and a special video message by Rosemary DiCarlo, the United Nations Under Secretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs. Additionally, the conference received an esteemed visitor, Izuma Nakamitsu, the United Nations Under Secretary General and High Representative for Disarmament Affairs, who embarked on an official visit to Mongolia to participate in the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue. During her first official visit to Mongolia, Izumi Nakamitsu will play a significant role in promoting and strengthening international peace, security, and Mongolia's nuclear weapon-free status.
No, thank you very much. It's, the world is actually flooded with a lot of challenges, but at the global level, we are definitely concerned about heightened tension between major military powers. And in fact, all nuclear weapon states are modernizing their arsenals, in some cases increasing their arsenals. So we are almost on the verge of an arms race. And so, there is a big global level concerns when it comes to all disarmament related issues. Now, of course, for us, the key is to make sure that the norm of not using nuclear weapons is definitely upheld, maintained. I think Mongolia, as one country that has declared to be nuclear weapon-free status, it has such a strong political significance in organizing this kind of a platform where a few of nuclear possessor states actually are relevant in the regional security. I mean, of course, in the immediate sense, the DPRK's nuclear ambitions quite a concern. Repeated missile launches is another big concern for all of us. But beyond that, I think all countries in the region and also other states that have a stake in the region should use this kind of a platform to re-engage in dialogue. There is no solution other than dialogue and diplomacy when it comes to security.
The Ulaanbaatar Dialogue underscores the importance of Mongolia's commitment to disarmament efforts and its active role in promoting regional security. United Nations Under Secretary General's visit not only strengthens the partnership between Mongolia and the United Nations, but also highlights Mongolia's contributions to global disarmament initiatives and its ongoing efforts to maintain a nuclear weapon-free status.
I cited President Kennedy in my speech. Some people say that when the security situation is worsening, getting worse, it's not the time to think about disarmament. But history shows that that is not the case. In 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis, that was the closest point where the world went almost to nuclear war. And with that experience, both at the time, of course, the Soviet Union and the United States, they felt this is too risky. And the way to actually achieve the stability and peace and security is through dialogue and disarmament, arms control efforts. So the history shows that when things are so dangerous, fragile and volatile, that's exactly the time when we need to re-engage in discussions and negotiations and find a way through disarmament and arms control to stabilize the situation and then seek greater security and more safer arrangements. So now is the time, we believe, that we need to bring back those countries together to rethink. So disarmament really should be a very important instrument for that. So I thought that this UB dialogue is a very, very important, very useful platform to send that message and appeal to those countries in the region, first and foremost, and others to remember and think about utility, the usefulness of disarmament measures.
The first session of the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue, moderated by Minde Jaralsakhan, Deputy Director of the Institute for Strategic Studies of Mongolia, addressed security challenges and opportunities in the region. Experts from various countries, including Japan, China, South Korea, and Russia, shared their insights on the implications of geopolitical competition and uncertainties on the Korean Peninsula. Their discussions provided a comprehensive understanding of the short, medium, and long-term security implications in the region. Also, a closed-door roundtable meeting on multilateral cooperation in Northeast Asia was held, inviting experts to share perspectives on confidence-building measures and explore practical steps for sustainable cooperation. The third session, Future Peace in Northeast Asia, jointly organized with the United Nations Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, provided a platform for youth representatives to voice their views and recommendations on regional peace and security. Moderated by Sonia Bachmann, team leader at the United Nations Department of Political Affairs, young peacebuilders, including representatives from Mongolia, engaged in meaningful discussions on bridging generational gaps and promoting common narratives. On the second day, Session 4 delved into post-COVID economic cooperation in the region. Experts discussed the impact of the pandemic on trade, investments, and financial markets. They explored collaborative measures to stabilize the regional economy, improve connectivity, and prepare for future crises. The conference concluded with a closing session where moderators summarized the key discussions and highlighted the importance of continued dialogue and collaboration. Akbayr Nyamdorj, State Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, delivered his closing remarks, underscoring the significance of the Ulaanbaatar Dialogue in promoting regional cooperation and addressing shared challenges. The Ulaanbaatar Dialogue 2023 not only provided a platform for constructive exchanges, but also strengthened bilateral ties between Mongolia and the United Nations, thanks to the official visit of Izumi Nakamitsu, the United Nations Under-Secretary General and High Representative for Disarmament Affairs. The conference highlighted the commitment of regional stakeholders to foster security, peace, and economic collaboration in Northeast Asia, paving the way for a prosperous and interconnected future.